drainage system in the fens is pretty basic. They don't have paved roads. A lot of the people have webbed feet. Well, I've moved venues. I'm now in the fens. Although I've driven about a fair bit today. I came here first only to see a big digger redoing something over there, regrading the bank, building them up, and notice it's also been dredged over the winter. I knew that section down there had been, I didn't realise this one had as well. I drove somewhere else that had been recommended to me, but I couldn't get to it. Not quite sure what that was all about. I tried a couple of routes and was turned back, so that was back to the drawing board. I went somewhere else and didn't kind of fancy it basically, and so I ended up coming back to here and just chancing it really. I mean, I don't know really why they dredged it, because it wasn't overly weedy and stuff. I think it'd been done, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. That bit down there, the other section further down there, that was really weedy and quite shallow. Whereas this bit wasn't. Anyway, I'm fishing for tench. Got 2 rods out. I've put in about 6 balls of ground bait and a bit of caster and some particles and pellets and stuff. Not far out, a couple of rod lengths out, down kind of the bottom of the shelf. And so far, I've had a couple of liners. Don't know what they are. When I got here, I wasn't really seeing many small fish around, which kind of worried me a little bit. But I mean, they kind of showed up, and I have heard a few sploshy sounds here and there. I actually did see something big just out in my swim, kind of towards the far side. Roll. I don't know what it was. It looked big, like carp big. It could have been a tench, maybe. A carp or a pike. They're the only things I reckon it might have been. And the worm's getting nibbled by little fish. So there's stuff here. So fingers crossed there's a couple of tench that'll be willing to feed later on. I was going to do 2 nights in the fens here, but it's going to be so bloody hot tomorrow. It's going to be 30 degrees, and there's no cover here. There's no trees that you can kind of shelter under or whatever. I'm just going to roast alive. So tomorrow morning, unless I'm bagging up on tench, then I might stay for a bit. But tomorrow morning I'm going to pack up and go home, I think, and fish somewhere else that evening. So far, no fish. A couple of liners. Been here a good few hours now. We'll wait and see, really. I'm kind of a little bit. They've really ruined the aesthetic of this place. It's normally lovely, but the banks are full of shite, and the far bank is just like a bank of mud now. They've cut the reeds down, and I don't know what they're doing. I think they're just building up the banks a little bit. I think there's a reasonable chance that there'll still be some tench around here. I don't know what they do. You know, when they dredge a stretch, obviously it changes it a lot. You know, it changes the bottom, it changes the weed, it changes the amount of food. And I know fish are quite often, they kind of have their little home where they live, and they don't wander too far from it, you know. Certainly on, I think it's I think it's the case on drains and rivers that fish visit the same areas year after year, you know, or live in the same kind of area. So whether this would have pissed them off and they've buggered off, I don't know. They might all be here still. Or it might be a bit of one and a bit of the other. There might be some that have stayed and some that have gone. Obviously elsewhere, further up the drain, this won't have happened. I nearly did fish up there around the corner. Tweak on the worm there. I think it's small fish biting at the worm. Yeah, the banks there are really terrible though. They're proper steep, and yeah, kind of night fishing. It's probably doable, but I'd rather be comfortable. I'll give you a little show. I'll give you a little look around. I'll show you kind of what's happened. If you saw my videos from this time last year, I fished this very swim. This is the third year in a row I've fished it, and you'll see the difference. The drain is clear. There's very few lilies and weed in there. I mean, I've chucked the rake out half a dozen times and pulled in virtually nothing, and my feeders are coming back clean, and there's no weed in the channel or anything. But it's not quite so pleasant fishing here anymore. I mean, next year it will be all back to normal again. All the reeds and stuff on the far side would have grown, and all this crap on the bank would have been covered in grass again. Anyway, I'll give you a quick look round and then I'll shut up, if you don't want to listen to me talking crap for hours. Yeah, so this far bank here is just a big earth dam now, and as you see, the reeds are all short and chopped down, and there's no lilies and stuff. I mean, this is the majority of the drain in the summer is usually has lilies, not completely over it, but you know, patchy lilies here and there all the way across, and there's nothing. There's a bit in the margins here. You see, I've cut out my swim and said had a little rake, and yeah, this is all the clay, all the stuff they've dug out of the drain, and it just goes up on top of the bank here. Well, I was just about to have a bit of a tantrum and throw in all of that, and then that happened. That has got to be a tench. So things are looking up. I'm starting to lose heart then. I've been here for probably fishing for 3 hours now, and apart from a couple of liners, not a lot. Right, let's wait and see. Wow, tench ahoy! Probably 20 minutes or so since those bubbles. Really didn't fight very hard, and then went absolutely nuts in the edge there. That was on a pellet, that. Nice female. Probably pushing £4 that fish. Really thick. Marvellous. I think I might get a picture of her. And another. Not long after. Similar size. Yeah, lovely. They're here. I'm pleased about that. I was very fucking concerned at the beginning. Oh, pardon my French. But they are here. That's great. I'm well pleased about that. That there, folks, is a Fenland sunset. Get the best sunsets and dawns and sky, I think, anywhere in the country here. I mean, take a look around, it is half sky after all. Nothing in the way. Ask a local about a tree and they'll be like, what's a tree? I can't even do a Fen accent anymore. There you go. Brilliant. Caught a few tench. Cooked my dinner. I'm quite happy now. I just have a dirty little bream. Well, little, about £4. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Right, while I've got my rig out, I thought I'd just run through it with you. In case you haven't seen it before. If you've seen any of my other Tench videos, you will have seen this rig numerous times. But for those who haven't, £8 line, main line. This is a Preston 40 gram pellet feeder. It needs to be sort of 40 gram so that when a fish picks up the bait and moves off, there's enough weight there to prick the fish with the hook, and then once it feels that, hopefully it will run off and hook itself proper. Yeah, it's a Preston pellet feeder, and I like this particular one because it doesn't have any holes in it. Now, what I tend to find is it does have 3 little holes in the back, but there's lots of holes in the feeder. Your hook can get caught in them, and then you're presenting a bait that's not going to catch any fish. I've also found that if you're using a worm, the worm can actually crawl through the holes and bugger everything up as well. So that's why I use these Preston ones, so they've got no holes. On here, I've got a size, it's 11. Quick link, so it's a swivel with a little hook, and that just means you can change the rig really quick. That goes on. I've got £10 Suffix coated braid. Now I don't believe you can buy it anymore. I've been looking around for this stuff and I can't find it. And I can't find any other £10 coated braid either, which is a bit of an annoyance, a bit of a concern actually, because I use it all the time. I've got a size 10 Corum wide gape, Corda wide gape hook. A little short hair, it's probably about 20mm long, something like that. And then there's a quick stop on there. Just means I can hook anything really fast. I can put a boilie on there, a pellet, a worm, corn. The only thing you can't really put on these is casters and maggots and really small stuff like that, because they are quite chunky little things. That's basically the rig, and this swivel is of just the perfect size to, when you pull it in, it semi-fixes itself in this tail rubber of the feeder. So it's not fully fixed, it will come out, but it's fixed in there enough to hook the fish, hopefully. And there you have it. I think I'll plop my baits back out there and fish on. Yeah, there's 2 tench real quick, and there's bream not too long afterwards actually. I just managed to somehow cook my dinner and eat it while that was happening. Now I've managed to eat my dinner, I probably won't get another bite, so I'll have to start cooking more stuff. I'll be up all night cooking. Right, time to shut the mouth, and I'll see you again if I catch anything interesting. This is a cracker, this one. On worm that time. Everything else I've caught has been on a pellet. Straight in the middle of the bottom lip, that one. Proper nailed him. Or should I say her? Go there. There we go. Lovely fish, 4 pound. Would be my I guess. Maybe a little bit bigger. No, it's probably about 4 pound. Lovely. Getting into them. That's good to see the dredging hasn't cocked things up. Quite a relief actually. Morning. Absolute Breamageddon last night, and the same again this morning. You may well see from some other footage the swim was fizzing, but they were bream. I don't know how many I've caught, probably about 8 I think. I pulled my rods in last night, and then this morning I put them out again at about 5:30. Caught a couple of bream, pulled them in again, and went back to sleep. So I'm feeling pretty jaded. It's going to get really hot today, so I'm not going to sit here because there's no shade and I will just get killed. So I'm going to pack up fairly shortly, I think, actually. Anyway, that's the little Fenland Odyssey over for this week. I'm actually going to be back here in a week's time, so that's all good. And yeah, I mean, I made the mistake of using ground bait. I've done it before and it's been fine, but occasionally it causes problems, so I'm going to knock it on the head ground bait wise next time I'm here. I'm just not going to use it here again ever. Just attracts bream. So, right, I'm going to have a cup of tea and then hit the road. I'll see you later on.